At 10:03 on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, I'm Jane Monreal. We are dealing with some cold weather here in the Carolinas, waking up to beautiful skies, though. Chris Mulcahy is here. I was telling Majestic Chris that when I was driving in this morning, saw beautiful pink cotton candy clouds against the blue. Is gorgeous.
You're actually better off having cloud cover like what we had this morning for a breathtaking sunrise or sunset. So that was perfect. And also, sometimes life, Jane, is about perspective. Because you could be walking out your door to, hey, it's cold and sunshine. Well, I said yesterday I was going to feature one of my friends, and I'm actually going to do both of them here. But here is my friend Eric Falcone is from, I think he lives around, I should know this better, pretty much west of Boston.
Is this the video?
This is the video, yeah. Okay. So this is what his view out the door was. Wow. Eric, I'm so sorry. He has a lot of work to do, but you can clearly see that he already did some work where they were trying to shovel their little walkway. Meanwhile, my friend Luke from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, we both actually went to school together from middle school to high school. So one of my oldest friends sent this in. This is from the Mid-Cape, so it would be Yarmouth and Dennis. And if you look closely, it wasn't just the snow. The snow was a heavy snow, upwards to about 2 feet up for the Cape Cod area. But notice that there's power lines down. I traveled that road many times as a kid. This is actually where my old childhood home was. And then meanwhile, look at the awning of the gas station. You see that type of damage during a hurricane. Well, guess what? We had wind gusts up to around hurricane strength, about 70 to 75 around the Cape Cod area. And there were some buoy data that I think it was over to 80 to 90 miles per hour. This does not outdo the blizzard of 78 that is going to be notorious for not just New England, but for the better part of the eastern seaboard. But it definitely is as far as challenging it for the snow totals, where we saw up and over about 30 inches of snow. Now, the jackpot snow, there's always going to be that base, was 2 to 4 inches per hour that was falling really from Rhode Island to around New Bedford, and really TF Green Airport, that's where we saw over 32 inches, also the eastern side of Long Island. This is just a massive system. So what you're seeing there is like ice lip is in the eastern side of that little Long Island. It's that little corridor that you saw move from there up into Rhode Island that we saw a majority of this snow. And the system now is past and gone, but here's what it looked like. This is some of the best imagery. It was at this point that it was at its strongest. That's where you're seeing some of the heaviest snow bands, winds blowing all over. This is a blizzard. You probably heard the term bomb cyclone. That's usually more things that media likes to say. That just meant that it quickly dropped in pressure, which, by the way, the pressure was lower than most tropical storms get, and even some lower end hurricanes. And then the winds in general widespread. There were over 40 million people that were impacted with blizzard conditions. That really puts us in perspective. Here it is now. Now you can see the core is racing out of here. It's already past Nova Scotia. And our next rain chance here locally, we're actually going to see another system roll in that could bring a little bit of snow. But James, you said that there was an aerial view of New Bedford that you had. So but I want to get to that before we move on to our forecast. Of course, that's most important, but this is a historic storm. Yeah, those people aren't getting out of there for quite some time. As you can see, one or two people clearly trekked through. They're making a path. And this is what you do in Massachusetts. You dig out your own car, and then guess what's going to happen? The plows are going to roll through, and you have to do it again. That's the nature of the beast. But New England is at a standstill. And what people don't realize is that a storm system like this, especially in the winter, it's going to be very tough to melt all that snow. New York literally has like an ice and snow melter that they dump it into, so they'll do the best they can. But things are going to be shut down for over a week. Growing up in New England, I can remember back in 2005, we had a storm system that was about 36 inches, and we were out of school for all 5 days. And that's essentially what's going to be happening here. So quite the image there. They've done a good job of trying to clear out some of the roads, so traffic is moving. But as far as the airports go, the trickle effect is going to last for days. So even though the storm is over, there's still going to be some impacts there. As for our next big impact, thanks a lot, James. Appreciate that. That really shows. But it puts us in perspective. We're really not too bad because our next rain chance is going to roll in a little bit later on in the week, and it looks to be Thursday night heading into Friday. And this is my favorite stat that I've been sharing with people for the last few days, is that this is actually going to be a rarity. So far this year, obviously, we're deep into a drought, so there's not a lot of these numbers. But we have not had a measurable rainfall on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nor Thursday. So this coming Thursday will be the first time that we have measurable rain on a Thursday. Meanwhile, we've had a wet day on 3 Fridays, 3 Saturdays, and 5 Sundays. Now, when you say wet, this is any sort of precipitable water. So this is also dividing the times that we had snow, the times that we had sleet and freezing rain. That event happened on a Sunday, well, Saturday into Sunday, and then also the big snowstorm that we had, of course, that historic one for us, where we had close to a foot of snow. That was on a Saturday. So rain is now likely on Thursday and Thursday night heading into Friday, but there are some question marks with the system. But let's get to the near term, since I kind of jumped from one weather system to the next. Today is going to be a day of increasing clouds. We're finally at freezing, so that's the good news that we have here. It's a freezing start to the day. It was actually the coldest morning that we're going to have over the foreseeable future. The next time we're around freezing is next Tuesday, and we'll be close to 32 instead of low around the 25 degree point. And then some of us even had lows in the upper teens across the greater Charlotte area. Well, those clouds are going to increase, and that's actually going to keep our lows pretty mild going forward. But as far as our highs are concerned, this day separates itself from the rest in the coldest fashion. 48 degrees, still not quite there. Still 5 degrees warmer than yesterday, but we have the low to the mid 60s. And then we have that big raindrops coming down for Thursday, which I'm about to show you. But as far as the long range forecast for our lows, I just want to jump ahead to the 10-day that we have here. You can see that we only have that one little dip that's happening on a Tuesday, but for the most part, the 40s and the 50s are taking over. It's this time of year that this is what happens, and just let the line adjust for you. There you go. Up to 54 where it's going to be more cloudy. Also some warmer air trying to blast in, but there's only one little dip. And one thing that we don't like as Carolinians are the big dips. Well, we are going to see it again. I'm happy to say that we are heading in a really good direction, that we're going to see temperatures get into the lower to the mid 70s even on Sunday, but then we're going to see another cool down. Sorry, my data's taking forever to process here. That's just a broken line at the bottom, but you are going to see those temperatures that drop down to the lower 50s on Monday, and then eventually we have a nice little comeback to the mid 60s. But baseline, weather's all about patterns and trends. This time of year we usually start to trend up. It's like an upward trending stock. It doesn't go straight up. There usually be some dips along the ways. We're going to see that, but this is really the biggest dip that we're going to have for the near term. Now let's talk about the upcoming rain. I already said Thursday night heading into Friday, so you know that. There are 2 different scenarios that we're seeing here. This first model that I'm about to show you for this futurecast rainfall shows not a lot of rain at first, maybe up to about 1/4 of an inch for your Thursday morning, with a lot more starting to move in. Now, this model data doesn't go super far out, but what it's really telling is that rain system to the west, once it pushes through, that's where we're going to see majority of the rain. But there's also another model that's showing this. We have rain that goes into your Thursday, and then a bigger surge heading into your Friday morning, where this actually shows totals up to 2 to 3 inches. So this is maddening as a meteorologist, because you're like, ooh, which one is it going to be? Things are trending towards the drier one. Drought often feeds drought, so that's going to kind of limit the rainfall initially, but we will have a chance for at least up to an inch. But for the most part, things are a general consensus about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, I think, initially, but we could double that overnight. So keep in mind, Thursday night, and Friday morning, those are definitely going to be our wetter periods. And it's all because of this front. This front moves in, it kind of stalls across the area, low pressure system accentuates the rain, builds it, and then eventually pushes off towards the east, and then we clear out for a great weekend. So current temperatures right now, we're at 32 degrees, but then a little bit later on in the forecast, that's where we're going to see our warming lows, as we just saw. All right, so getting into our future cast, here's Thursday morning. This is, I think, very believable. This scenario I don't like for us here. Everyone pretty much in the mid-Atlantic needs rain, so now it's kind of getting greedy. No, we want the rain. Well, around the Tennessee border and along the Virginia border, there's a chance that that rain system could stall out there, or just off towards the north. This is actually trending a little bit further north, so I think we see rain in the morning, it takes a break, and it's all about what that second batch of rain is. So I think it's whatever happens here during this time frame, really late evening through the overnight, that's where we're going to see a majority. I already showed you some of our rain totals potentially. Just note that it's going to rain. We're just working out the details about if it's going to be the higher end or more the lower end. Regardless, any rain's going to help. But truly, we're at the point that we really need roughly about 0.8 of an inch of rain per week to just stay status quo. So we're going to need at least an inch of rain per week for us to start chipping away at this drought, which does not look to be the case scenario here, because we have the 60s eventually warming up into the mid 60s, and you could have a lingering shower into Saturday. That's the only thing that's changed. We have the mid 70s on Sunday, and then again the lower 50s on Monday. So this is definitely the bottom. Keep that in mind. Things are trending up a little bit warmer. We averaged 59 degrees for this day in climatology. By the last day of February, which is Saturday, it's up to 60. So that means the 60s slowly but surely taking over, and we're already seeing that on our 7-day.
All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we need the rain. Maybe we'll get it. A little bit of it.
I would rather during the weekdays, we like Monday through
Yes.
Thursday. Those you want those days to be the rainy ones.
Right.
Monday already has the case of the Monday, so let's do it more on
Might as well.
Mondays.
Rainy days and Mondays.
Yeah.
They made songs.
Yes, exactly. See, it's a hit song there. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this is actually one of the first ones, because we haven't had a lot of rain, so people aren't thinking about it. But we've had back-to-back weekends that it's rained, and then we also had our two biggest storm systems on the weekend that shut things down.
Right.
So yeah, we are in the pattern that we want to start to break, because we're going to get super warm, and people are going to want to get outside and enjoy it. So at least this is showing a break of the mold in the short term.
All right, that sounds good. We'll take that optimism, Chris, and you don't have to dig your car out of the snow.
That's the optimism we need.
Huge,
And it's
right?
like, hey, I love my friends, but glad it's not me.
Yeah.
But by the way,
Good luck.
quick shout out again to my friends Luke and Eric. Eric was actually the officiant at my wedding,
Oh.
and Luke was my best man. So, so those are really two of my greatest friends. So shout out to you guys.
Eric and Luke. All right, good luck out there. All right, thanks, Chris.
Of course.
And we'll be right back on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.